Welcome to the Wonkcast. Located in Wetaskiwin, Alberta, this podcast is mainly about local talent that includes artists, musicians, actors, and the businesses that help promote the arts. If you would like to be part of our show or become a sponsor, all you have to do is message us at wetwonkcast@gmail.com or on Facebook and Twitter. Today's episode is brought to you by the Wetaskiwin Arts and Music Festival Committee, Delcon Visual Arts, and Warren's Music.
Welcome back to another episode of the Wonkcast, episode 20-something. I am your host, Joshua Alexander, with my co-host, as always,
Christopher Day One Carlson.
Today we are talking with two older gentlemen, Justin Littlejohn. Wait, what's your name again?
Well, it's one older gentleman. Let's just.
Oh, and one is okay. One is old, and one is
sporadically young,
slightly older than me.
Built, full of energy, gentlemen.
Yeah, Justin and Dale.
You bet. Great to have you guys on the show today.
Nice introduction. Way to go.
Yeah, thank you for coming down. So
You don't get any extra pay for that.
You knocked it out.
if you guys, if the listeners remember, Josh was actually, I think, episode 2 or 3
2, I think it was, yeah.
on our on the Wonkcast, and we've been trying to get Chris to come in for a while, and he's here today. So it's going to be fun. So let's just give you guys a chance to. Josh, you kind of already introduced yourself to everybody, so let's give Chris a chance to kind of introduce himself to our listeners here and let them know what you're about.
My name is Chris Carlson. I'm from the Samson Cree Nation. I'm a, I guess, local artist. I'm based out of Calgary now. That's why I haven't been able to make it out for the podcast.
You went a big city on us.
Yeah, and I think the last time I was in town we were supposed to do this, but I think Dale had a gig or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Canada Day. I think
Yeah,
that's
what it was.
But yeah, so I'm happy to be here.
You do a lot of like art shows and tours and traveling and stuff.
We both do really. It's just we have to stay busy. You gotta keep moving, or it all stops. Like you can't take a day off. You can't. Like I don't know. There's sometimes we're saying no to stuff. I have had to, I guess, but it's been pretty busy. I just did a Beakerhead last weekend in Calgary. It was big stage, and I kind of same thing happened last night where I turned around and I noticed how big the crowd was. I was kind of.
Does that ever kind of throw you off when you look and you see how many people are there and you're like, oh, I better not screw up. I better not let.
The nerves aren't as bad as they used to be when I first started. Like it would, like if you're not used to it, it does. I know there was an artist on stage last night that was just all nerves because of all the people, and I remember back to when I was like that.
I would just kind of feel weird, like having my back turned and knowing people are watching me.
Yeah, it's.
Does that ever give you like a nervous kind of?
Do you like feel their eyes?
Yeah.
They're undressing me. I know. No, just kidding.
Or your hope.
I hope. No, it's.
Dude, if they undress you, they'd be like, quick, get his clothes
Yeah,
back
just stop. Yeah, then they start throwing shit.
You wouldn't want to get a paintbrush thrown at you.
Right? No, you get used to it. It is nerve-wracking in the beginning if you're not used to it. Was it Red Deer 2013?
You talking about art battle?
No, yeah, like when we first started doing the live painting things.
I was almost never nervous. I like attention.
Oh man, this guy is just stone-faced.
You're an attention whore,
You
right?
can't tell.
Yeah.
You can't tell.
Boy.
Me, I'm falling apart every show.
But that's the best part of an artist, because that's when it comes out of you and you turn that something into a positive effect.
Yeah, it's that's what art does for me altogether. You put it into a canvas, you feel better for it. And yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't know. I paint stuff out when I'm, it's almost like I paint better if I'm or something.
Do you paint in silence or do you paint with music? Like, do you blast some Metallica and stuff and just go for it, or do you just
music? Always. I don't know. I can't paint in silence.
And then do you get like the inspiration from the music? Like if you hear something in a song, you're like, and then you kind of
that's happened quite a bit. Josh paints a lot of pop culture icons, and when I first started, I was like kind of in the same category, I guess, because like in the beginning, I didn't want to be a native artist. I just wanted to be an artist,
right?
Like I didn't want to be pigeonholed into
yeah.
Which is funny because fast forward to now, that's like I'm completely native artist, like everything
Right.
I didn't want to be.
But you can see the music influence in it, right? Because you take like a traditional. This is how I describe Chris's work. It's like, as a person who just sees it, I describe it as like it's a traditional Cree artist meets a like kind of an urban style hip hop artist, and you kind of like mash those together.
He does have a hip hop vibe to it in a lot of his, his art for sure.
It kind of has a graffiti style, even though it's not necessarily graffiti, but it has like a lot of negative space paintings and stuff, right? And then he puts color in some of them, and then like the music thing that you're saying, right? Like you got the sitting bull, right? So that would be like a traditional. No, actually that wouldn't be traditional, right? That wouldn't be traditional native art, but you have like what. It's kind of hard to explain, but then he's got like the turntables and stuff in there, and then he,
Which other one?
Dude, this reminds me of like, there's, I don't know if, maybe I'll let you say, but there's a lot of people who were like getting pissed off about that because they're very like set in their ways of like what respect
culturally
is
for sure,
stuff that is.
I brought it to a market just locally here in Sampson. The Cree market, I do that. When I very first debuted that painting, there was this older lady. She came to the table and she looked mad. I was like, talk to her, but you have to. So she goes on to tell me that she doesn't like my work and that I have no right to do that to our ancestors or whatever. She stood there for like 20 more minutes. Just like,
oh wow,
that's so weird though. Like, how does she know? What if Sitting Bull was alive today? How does she know he wouldn't be
just
like
say, go home,
rocking the ones and twos?
Home. Yeah, I'd be like on Instagram. That's fire, son. Like. But
I think that's what. Wouldn't that be something that would put the inspiration in to do more awesome kind of art when someone comes and tells you, hey, you suck.
Yeah.
I don't like what you're doing.
At first it was upsetting, but then after a while I realized that I just ruffled your feathers. Like you weren't thinking about me yesterday. Now you're ruffled your bustle.
I'm in your thoughts.
But I don't know. I think that now if you're pissing people off, you're making art.
That's very true nowadays.
There's always gonna
wait. If you're pissing people off by accident.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I don't.
I think if you're pissing people,
I don't
off
take
on
a
purpose,
canvas and I'm like, I'm gonna piss people off, right?
Right.
Unless you're Kathy Griffin and you're doing the Donald Trump cut the head off kind of thing, then it's a purposeful influence. But otherwise, when you're doing something like that might trigger one or two people, that's always going to happen in some way, shape, or form because nobody's going to like everything that you put out.
Yeah,
I think that's the form of art.
Part of being an artist is you got to accept that not everybody's going to.
But generally, the positive outweighs the negative.
Yeah.
Like, in your case, I'm sure you've had a lot more people come up who love your stuff and who are inspired by you.
Well,
and
it's never stopped. I just stopped listening to those people.
Yeah.
I just stopped listening to it, and I'm happy.
Well, that's one of the things that there's always going to be people talking shit about you or anybody else. So it doesn't matter. So, and you're doing the smart thing, and you're just saying, forget them.
It's not even an argument. It's just somebody just talking.
I describe your art as day one art.
It's a lot of people tell me I don't need to sign it. I'm pretty happy about that. It's taken a few years to get a style of my own.
Because you've built up that image and you've worked hard on that, and it shows in your art, definitely in a lot of your pieces.
It was really nice. It's just speaking on the how long we've been at it. Like last night, I met people that were like 2 years ago. Like, I remember me, and I honestly didn't. But I was like, hey, how are you?
Yeah,
it was. It's nice. It's a lot of hard work. It's been a long road.
It's cool when local artists, like the title local artist, it almost like makes you sound cheap, right? You don't want to be known as the local artist.
Right.
You're just a guy who does art. Because local artists, and people are like, oh, he's a local artist.
Yeah, I think that immediately puts a stamp on you.
Yeah,
when you
it kind of
say
sucks
artist.
in a way, right? Because you're trying to reach higher and higher every day, right? So if you're always like just local artist, there's nothing wrong with a local artist. Right, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But then you're like Can you just say my name instead, please?
There's a big difference between local artists and international artists too, right?
Yeah,
It's
almost a stature thing,
right? Like you've showed all over. Well, I have. I've only showed just across Canada, but you've gone.
I didn't get to go, but one of my pieces went to.
Where is that at?
It was a 6-city tour. They started in Minnesota. No, they started in Los Angeles, and went to where the heck is that place?
5 other cities.
Yeah. Well, it ended up in Minnesota anyway.
That's always cool when your art gets to go somewhere that you don't. It gives you this weird feeling. You're like,
I remember
that's
that
me,
day.
but it's not me at the same time.
I was on Instagram that day, and I saw this art poster, and it had Superman, this native hip hop artist, a bunch of other people that I'm big fans of. Man, I wish I was on that show. And then later that evening, I realized I am in that show. I watched it live on Facebook. It's a quick flash of my art piece. That,
what does that feel like? Like, run me through that feeling. Like, you're sitting at home and you're like, right now my art's in
Los Angeles,
and people are looking at it. Like,
yeah, it was a huge show. They had a block outside with like performers, musical performers, and inside was just the art everywhere. And they told me it was like there was 300 artists submitted, and I was one of them. I submitted about 5 pieces, and only one of them made it in. And that was it was a recreation of a photo by Blair Russell. It was the beginning of the Idle No More movement. I think the piece was titled "The Birth of a Movement." It was a photo he took, and actually, I still don't have that painting back from that. So me and Blair.
Someone's got to hang it up.
Yeah, someone's got it down in the States for the Honor the Earth was the organization that put the show on. It was pretty neat.
So as an artist, what keeps you up at night? Like, do you ever get inspired late at night and have to wake up at 3 a.m. and grab a canvas or grab a notepad and just draw something for an idea? Or
having a home studio keeps you pretty productive. Josh has a shop, so he's got to go 50 yards from his house to go do art. But, I don't know. Me, I paint at home. It's I don't know. I find it like if I can just do it whenever, it's the best way for me.
When you paint at home, does it make you kind of feel like, does it make your painting more productive, being that you're in your own home, you're in your own space, you feel comfortable?
Well, yeah, it does, but it doesn't sometimes really matter because I paint everywhere now. Like, it's live painting. It's nice to be at home and quiet and,
Oh, for sure.
But I'm really used to painting, and just like last night, there was like 300 people.
And you sold a piece last night, too.
Yeah. I think we all did. Did everybody sell last night?
Yeah, everyone sold a piece, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Right, like it was like an auction.
Yeah, both our pieces sold for the same amount.
So last year, you and Josh together went out on a small tour in Alberta. How was that for you, personally?
It was challenging. I don't know. Well, Josh is lots younger than me.
Dude, it was dope.
Yeah. It was awesome.
It was fun.
But I think our first one, we just kind of, we both thought we were going to wing it and it was going to be awesome, but it was like probably the toughest one we did. And we didn't even have a plan. We just showed up. We were going to paint. But that was the Neepsies show.
Oh, you're talking about like we're just gonna okay. So in each show, so there was like 6 shows.
Pinoca, Wetaskiwin. Where did we go?
We Red Deer twice. Edmonton. So Edmonton was the first one. We painted our own things there, and then the second one, I can't remember where they all were, but at one of the shows, we decided just to not plan a painting. We were just going to do whatever, and we did a decent painting, but we were like, man, I don't know what to paint. How about we'll paint a buffalo? Okay, and then since we have like very different styles, we're kind of trying to communicate both of our styles into one piece. Yeah. And so we're like, all right, we got to use this type of color, and then we got to put this, signature style in this painting, while also putting the other one's signature style. Like I finger paint, so I don't necessarily have like a visual style. It's mostly like and you can't really tell that they're finger paintings either, but you can sort of tell that I did it. And then Chris's, you can tell almost right away if he's painted one, unless he's like experimenting with a different style. So that painting was kind of, I mean, it turned out nice, but not our best piece.
Well, yeah, you both definitely got your signature traits in your own paintings, and then mix them together. It's almost like a contrast, right?
Yeah.
Because here in the gallery, we've got two or three pieces, I think, that you guys collaborated on, and you can definitely tell that you're both there, you're both part of it, right? So,
There was, I think one that was I designed. That was with Delray. That was I guess Josh. I don't know. It was like he did a lot of the fill-in work, but his style was not as present as the other ones, I guess. But I don't know.
That was the last one of the last paintings we did together.
No, I think that was right, Calgary.
Yeah, there was a couple other ones after that, but that was a good piece too.
So any plans coming up for 2019 on maybe doing something similar or bigger or smaller or not at all? Or
Not too sure. That was kind of like a spur of the moment. Hey, you want to do a tour? And like, yeah, word, let's do it. And then we did some planning from there. So it's kind of off the cuff. I don't have any plans for 2019 until 2019 gets here.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm not sure.
That's generally it. Yeah.
Kind of shoot it day by day and see what
Paint
happens.
every day,
right?
try to get in more galleries. You know, a few months ago. This is the second time I was invited to do a show in New York. I'm not sure what caliber of show it was. It may have just been a local art show or something like that. I was invited to go, and then I just didn't go because it just didn't work out. So I'm thinking if it happens again in 2019, I'm going to go because I've never been to New York. So maybe that's the only loose plan I have.
New York would be cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's
It'd be
very
cool just
art.
to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a big art scene. It's just like LA. I went to LA a couple months ago. Well, I guess 6 months ago now, and I was trying to peddle some art there, and I did some submissions to some galleries and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. There's like a year wait.
Wow.
So we'll see.
So you're talking about Los Angeles, not Leduc, Alberta, right?
Yeah, Los Angeles.
Stole your line.
You did. You stole that one from me. Have you ever done anything in Vegas?
No, but there's lots of things on the back burner for me, I guess. I can't really say too much because I don't want to sound like an idiot if it never happens.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's with all of us. Yeah.
It never hurts to have plans.
I have plans. It's just they're not. It's just like
Carved in stone.
there's certain things that have happened to me in my art career where I've carefully set things up with a goal in mind, but not necessarily a timeline, just because it's so delicate.
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's taken years, 2 years, for what I'm thinking of right now. I don't want to say because I'll sound like a dumbass, but it took 2 years for that to come to fruition. And so what I'm working on for some things that are in the States, it's delicate right now. It sounds like I'm being an asshole teaser, but
that's the best way. That's what artists do.
Right now you're keeping people guessing. So
Yeah, that's what artists do.
So they'll keep tuning back in. What's Josh doing? Or they'll go to your website or something, or your Facebook page.
Dude, my
social
website
media.
sucks. Don't go to it.
Well, that's the first time I've heard that.
I mean, you can go to it, but the Instagram is the best.
Yeah. Our Instagram's very
Built for art.
So speaking of Instagram, what's your handle on Instagram?
Okay, so I have two, and they're both equally as important. So the one for my paintings is at My Hands Gallery, and they basically have everything to do with my art when it comes to paintings and painting events and whatever, all that jazz. And then my second one is at Ushitat, which is spelled USIHTAT, and then that has all of my sculptural pieces and like stuff that I make.
Maker.
It's just like I'm a maker, I make stuff. I make a bunch of basically everything out of mostly upcycled and reclaimed materials, found materials, scrap materials, stuff like that. And then the website, which you shouldn't go to, is joshuaalexander.ca.
All right, so I'm just looking through your Instagram here, Josh. I just found a picture, kind of caught my eye. Just tell me a little bit about it.
What do you think it looks like?
That's all up to the imagination, really, but yeah, looks like you're having fun. I mean,
I'm afraid to touch that one. I mean, like, literally, I'm afraid. We'll let you describe what that is.
What do you mean? You can clearly tell what it is. They're mega seeds from freaking Rick and Morty.
I knew it. That's what I thought right away as I first saw it.
That's what you thought it was, right? That's what you were asking.
Yeah. I just wanted to confirm with you, because I wasn't too sure, but you always have to make sure.
So you let's try that in English. You got another question for Chris? Because I know he's got to take off here pretty quick. So
yeah.
Any plans?
Instagram, see what kind of pictures you can.
Yeah, you got Instagram account too.
Yeah, I got Instagram. It's slightly more important than both of his. DAY1 CFC. Day 1 CFC. You'll see the logo of mine. It looks like the Run DMC. I call it the One DMC logo.
The One DMC?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Instagram. I use it quite a bit because.
What do you prefer, Instagram or Facebook? I imagine for artists you prefer Instagram.
Well, you can link it to your Facebook page, so you only have to post it once. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I do for one of my Instagrams.
Write the caption, and it goes straight to your other page, so you're not spending all your day on 3 different things.
Yeah. It's like, and Facebook is good, so you don't have to scroll through 99,000 pictures to get to the one you want. You can kind of be like, oh, it's in that, album. Yeah. You can see if you got this picture's still available to buy. This one is sold.
I thought this one was pretty cool. Maybe give us a rundown on this one.
Oh yeah, that's.
That one's easier to describe without sounding dirty on the mic.
Yeah. It's a hip-hop artist from Calgary. She did a talk for missing and murdered Indigenous women.
Oh, okay.
And she did a performance, and she painted her face like that. And,
oh, wow.
I was doing Didsbury art show, live painting, and I needed a subject, and I was just stumped for ideas, and I'd spoken to her the day before or whatever. She mentioned that'd be cool if I'd be in one of your paintings, and the picture was posted the day before. I'm like, I could probably paint that. And it was really simple. So it's a 40 by 40 canvas. It's of her with her face painted red. And it's again, with black and white, a lot of negative spaces. It's still sitting.
I like it because it has a message to it. Like when you look at it, you kind of get an image of what it's.
Yeah, it's the message itself was for speaking up for missing and murdered Indigenous women.
Yeah, which is very powerful and just a great piece of art. I think.
Yeah, that one is still available actually. It's just kind of been sitting for the last couple months, but it's now on the market for purchase. If you're interested, it's not in a gallery yet. I do have to do some gallery rotations here pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of on the market, you've started creating jackets with your artwork on the backs of them too.
Oh yeah.
I'm just looking at them here on the Facebook page. You want to tell everybody how you kind of came about deciding to do that, or?
I've always wanted to, and just recently I've been in talks with Mount Royal University, MRU. They invited me to perform at Fashion Week, Otapiaki Fashion Week. It's the Indigenous Fashion Week, I guess. I'll be performing every day down at City Hall in Calgary for that. And, me being a visual artist, I wanted to, not only just paint at Fashion Week,
it's like Fashion Week. You gotta have some clothes in there. Why not paint on clothes? They look dope.
I can wear my art. Yeah, just this morning, Jesus, the hip-hop Star messaged me about a jacket. So
Nice.
Look out for that. I hope that that's.
So you're just starting with jackets, or have you done more items? Like, are you going to do shoes? I've seen some artists do the shoes now.
I've done shoes. That's really where it started. I painted some Chuck Taylors for my cousin a while ago, and they were just everybody wanted a pair. So I've done a few pairs of those, and being in Fashion Week, I wanted to put my stamp on it. So just made some jackets up.
For sure.
Geez, you might just transfer from painting over to clothing line.
It's
day one clothing line.
It's a possibility. I have had runs of T-shirts come out. So
cool, man.
It was originally in a plan to be like an apparel line.
That's very cool, because when you have art as itself, like you have it at your house, people come see it, they look at it when they're there. But if you have something on a jacket, it's something people can see every day. And I think it's much more expressive.
Yeah.
Because you can take that jacket anywhere with you, as if you can't really pack up your paintings, unless you're an artist and take them all over the place. But which is very, very cool. I love those jackets.
Yeah, it's a new thing. I hope takes off.
And just looking through some of your photos here on Facebook, looks like you got a little bit of a collection of hats. Every time I see you, you're wearing something different. So.
Yeah. I like hats.
So one of your trademarks too?
I guess so.
Wearing a new hat, yeah. Cool.
Different hats and Chuck Taylors, I guess. I'm not wearing them now, but
I'm looking at this one in particular here with.
That was at a photo taken by Gracie Olds also from MRU. There was at the healing camp downtown in Calgary, and it was the last day of it. There's 3 women, and I was kind of funny because I didn't realize I was painting 3 women. But you'll notice the hand up there. I was like, why is your hand a different? I guess that's what the photo is. But there's 3 women all sharing a hug.
I see it now.
As they broke camp in Calgary earlier this year in the wintertime.
No, I don't think I've seen that one. You're gonna have to check out his Facebook to see what he's talking about, but it's pretty dope.
All right, well, I guess Chris, you gotta leave now, so we'd really like to thank you for coming in and finally being part of the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. I've been wanting to take part for some time. It's just our schedules are always different.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be hitting the road back to Calgary. I'll be back with new art, I guess, for Delkin Visual Arts. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, man. Good to see you.
Thanks for being here, man. Good to see you again.
Yeah, and I'll see you on the road somewhere.
Yeah.
And now enjoy the sounds of Josh Alexander's voice.
Soothing.
The soothing sounds of Josh Alexander.
Danger Alexander.
So we're back with Josh Alexander.
What's up?
Man, I'm just looking at your Facebook page, and it says here you studied power engineering at NAIT.
Yeah, that was a waste of life. That was because I worked at this styrofoam plant called Beaver Plastics. The worst job I've ever had in my life. And they offered to put me through the power engineering. And so I did that. Never going to use it.
On the wall, eh?
Yeah, I don't even know why I put it on my Facebook. I mean, at the time, maybe I thought I might use it, but I'm pretty sure now it just says entrepreneur on the top.
So again, looking at your Facebook page on another photograph, you've got a picture you took of a metal piece you did of a rather large peanut. What are you using for filler in there, if you don't mind my asking?
Okay, so that peanut, it's 2 hemispheres.
Okay.
That you can buy from whatever metal supply shop. I actually got them from the States. And then I welded those together. So the other side, in the picture you can only see one side. The other side is actually it's a bowl.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So it's not rounded. And then the little squares or whatever, that's just made out of coat hangers.
What was your inspiration to do that?
That's actually a commission I'm working on right now.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically just a guy. he wanted it's a Christmas gift for his dad, and he doesn't know what to get his dad. And he's like, my dad's interested in all these things, and he's like, basically, this is his life in a nutshell. And I was like, all right, let's pick a nut. I know a peanut's not technically a nut, but I was like, it's the most recognizable nutshell I could weld. And then I'm just welding up a bunch of different other things, like a boxing glove.
Oh, cool.
Just an axe. Some scuba gear, and that's all going to go into the peanut, basically. It's his life in a nutshell.
So then people come to you with like these kind of crazy ideas. Does that happen often? Or
Well, basically, someone will come up to me and be like, yo, can you make this? And I will say, yes, but I can make this instead. Like, I'd rather make my idea based off their idea, because I want to be proud of what I make, not just have this. And there's nothing wrong with people's ideas. It's just like I like to make.
You want to put your own spin on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think what I like, how I make what I make. Like, I'm basically learning how to do all these things. And welding is something that I've been doing now for, I don't know, maybe a year or so. And I'm still not a good welder, but it's good enough to do this sort of stuff. And so when I'm able to do kind of what I want to do that I find interesting, it's easier for me to complete a piece.
What's the craziest idea someone's come to you with?
Let's see here. Probably that same guy, actually. He wants me to make him a mic stand. He's got a band.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually have his music on my latest YouTube video. I make a cow skull out of steel. And so I'm working with metal, so I wanted some metal music, and he let me use his music. So he's going to get me to make him a mic stand at some point. I'm not sure when, but that's kind of cool. It's not exactly crazy, but it's, you know.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
It's something that can stand out.
So just to get everybody caught up with you again, not only are you a painter, but you work with metal, you work with wood, you design furniture, for lack of a better word. You designed the interior or parts of the interior of one of the restaurants in Edmonton.
That's in St. Albert. It's the newest. I guess it's one of the, if not the one only. It's one of the very few cake bars in Edmonton area, anyways. And it's called Confections Cake Co. And it's in St. Albert on Perrin Street. And they basically, so I'm a contractor. That used to be my full-time job. Now it's kind of my part-time job. And they needed their kitchen expanded. So I basically knocked out a wall, put in a beam, and then built a wall with floor on top and all that stuff. And then they asked if I could make tables and stuff. And I was like, hell yeah. So I made all their tables. They basically just said, do whatever you want, and then so, I mean, when you say I can do whatever I want, I'm still like, well, maybe you don't want, because what I want might be very different from what you want. So I'd always ask. They only said no to 2 things, and basically everything else. One thing on the front of their bar, I wanted to use this big sheet of rusty steel, and they were like, no, you can't use that. But it was one of the things where I wasn't going to budge. I was like, I'm going to use it. And they're like, no, please don't use it. And I was like, I'm going to use it. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to just basically put it on. If you like it, good. If you don't like it, I will take it off. And they're like, cool. And so I put it on, and they liked it.
So after last night's Taste of Wetaskiwin, where you had to go up there, and inside of 3 hours you had to plan, start, and finish painting and have it auctioned off. What was your overall impressions of the night? Not just personally, but I mean overall.
No, it was good, and I mean, I'm pretty used to painting in front of people, so that was fine.
Yeah, the whole getting up in front of a crowd and stuff doesn't bother me either. It's just, like you said, the one other artist was kind of a little nervous.
Yeah, Rihanna. Yeah, she was nervous as hell. I don't know why. She did great.
No, she did awesome. Yeah. But I just wanted to say to you, and I want to say it before Chris left, but I was kind of like the proud coach of the team or the manager. I mean, like four out of the 5 artists were, involved in my gallery here. So it was a proud moment for me too.
No, I'm glad.
And I was out there, pumping the.
You're like, I know those guys.
Yeah, just building you guys up, and and at the same time saying, well, they're part of my gallery, and a few people were saying, oh, I didn't know you had a gallery, so I had to tell them where they were. But there were other people saying, oh yeah, I see it all the time, but I never get to stop in. And but I hear that all the time, right? But no, I was pretty impressed with you guys, and I'm just glad it went well for you.
Yeah, it went good. It was okay. Yeah.
All that food and all the.
Yeah, I actually never tasted any of the food. I had tickets, but I never used them.
Oh. And there were other people.
I went to McDonald's after.
That's something I would do.
A whole buffet in front of you, and you go to McDonald's.
Well, I'm usually like that because I go to like a really nice restaurant, and you pay all this money, and they give you small portions, so you end up going through like drive-through afterwards because you're still hungry. Yeah. I've done that more than I'd like to admit, actually.
So again, on your Facebook page, I'm looking at this piece you've entitled "Bombs Away." It's a work in progress.
Oh yeah, so
what's up?
Yeah, that's actually a. So I probably already said I like to make stuff out of reclaimed and upcycled. So that's an air compressor that I chopped all the, all the gauges and motor and, pump and all that off, and then welded shut all the holes, and then those fins, I got those from a garage sale a long time ago. There was 4 of them, and they matched, and I always planned to make a bomb with them. I just needed a proper cylinder, and then they're welded onto that's a bearing housing that I got a couple days before, and I was like, perfect. I'm ready to complete this.
Or just because you want to make it?
No, I'm actually going to faux graffiti the whole bomb up, and I'm gonna title it Spray Bomb. So I've wanted to do that for a long time.
I like it.
That is pretty cool. Yeah. So the Einstein painting went. That's an incredible piece. I've still got some prints here, and I've sold 1 or 2 of them, and you've signed one of them for one of our customers here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. That's a very popular piece. Lots of people like that. I've sold some canvas prints of that one, so I got like 30 or so canvas prints printed out, and then they sell here and there. That was a good piece. I've been having a good month this month. I sold that was the first one of the month that I sold, and I sold a few more.
Wow.
Yeah, I see this other one, a young Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's a
huge
piece.
painting. That's a big painting.
And unfortunately, so here's something that someone might be interested in. That painting is actually damaged. You can't tell because it's repaired, but when I have a damaged painting, I don't hide it or anything. I say that it's damaged, and I put it in the damaged catalog, and I sell them. Like, so that painting was originally $2,000, and she bought it for $500 because it's damaged. So $1,500 off is not bad. Like, you can't tell that it's damaged. It's perfectly presentable. Yeah. So if anyone's ever interested in my damaged catalog, I can let them know what I got.
At a substantially reduced rate too.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at your other stuff here. You got Clint Eastwood. I mean, you do like a lot of famous.
A lot of famous people, yeah.
Famous people. What's the inspiration behind this? You're using. Is that just layered white paint? I mean, what I'm looking at right now looks like ribs, human ribs.
Yeah,
and
that's
you've
exactly
layered
what it
it
is.
so much that it looks like it was found from prehistoric times or something like that.
Yeah, Basically, the idea with this new series that I'm working on for the month of October. It's basically a Halloween series. I'm calling them. So every once in a while, this is kind of a long story. Every once in a while, I will come up with an idea, and then I will ask people if they've ever heard of that idea, even though they haven't because I made it up. But I just want to see if there's something similar out there. Right. And that was one of the ideas. And I call them white paintings, and I only use white paint. And my idea was just to take the canvas, so there's a 36 by 48 canvas, and then I put a gallon of paint on each paintings. So I've done 7 of them, and they go in a certain order on the wall, and they're a set that can be separated. Each painting can stand alone, but they go on the wall together. And I'm gonna have an exhibition for Halloween for the month of October.
That's cool.
That's basically what they're for. Yeah, so you can check those out. They're very hard to translate onto a picture. You got to see them in person because they're very texturized. Yeah, they look pretty dope.
And you were also mentioning on your social media too that you do these $100 paintings.
Oh yeah, okay. So this is basically, it back when I first started painting, I remember when I sold something for $100 and I was like making off like a bandit. I thought I was ripping people off. And now people are paying way more than that, which is so humbling. So every once in a while, if I have an idea that doesn't really fit into any of the categorical paintings that I do, I will still paint it because I like it, and then I will offer that into my $100 painting catalog. And those are usually go pretty quick.
So they're usually smaller too.
They're usually smaller paintings because. They're kind of back burner ideas. There's things that I can't really offer as prints, or there's some sort of rule against painting them, so you can only do an original. You can't do any prints, stuff like that.
A lot of technical stuff when it comes to art and in particular copyrights. And
yeah, exactly. And I'm not really looking to be sued.
No, nobody is for sure. Anything coming up like within the next week or so that you're involved in, or are you just kind of gonna head home and put your head to the grindstone and?
Just whenever October 1st is, I'm gonna be putting together that Halloween exhibition. It's at that cake bar.
Oh, cool!
And it's like that place. Like, I'm kind of selective on where I display my work now because certain places will give value or cheapen your work, which isn't to say that it's not worth showing in places ever. It's just I like to be selective, which kind of sounds pretentious, but I don't mean it that way. But this bar is like, it's super classy. Like, I put it together. I made it. I had a vision for it that luckily suited the client, and they basically made me the I don't want to say art director or curator, but they basically said, you pick what art comes in here and what doesn't come in here. And so for October, I decided it's all going to be Halloween themed, and not in a corny way. I want it to still be classy because the joint is pretty classy. There's going to be some photography in there actually done by my brother. He does some macabre styled photography, high end, and we're going to have his work in there, my work in there, and then one other artist. I'm not actually sure just yet who I'm going to pick. I still have a few days to decide, so I'll where's tomorrow, October 1st? Do I have one?
Today's the 29th.
Yeah. Okay.
Monday.
Okay, so I have a couple days to decide. So that's the next thing that's on the list, and then I have to start working on my Christmas commissions, and I'm still accepting commissions both in paintings and in sculptural pieces.
So, being that you're married, how's supportive is your wife, Ashley, right?
Ashley,
is she with your dragging your ass out to the shop every day and or wherever it is you're creating these art pieces? I mean, like, she's in full support of you and all that?
She's in like 99% support of me. There's just as an artist, you don't make consistent income. So
right.
Say I make X amount of dollars one month, and then the next month I make only X amount of dollars. It kind of puts like, shit, we're not going to make enough. Yeah. But it always works out, and I always have my contracting to fall back on. But she does like all like the stuff on the computer. She gets orders out, like prints and stuff to clients, sending them, mailing them off to wherever, and she'll proofread the stuff I put on the website and stuff, or not on the website, sorry, on the Facebook, like when I do a newsletter, not a newsletter, but whatever you call it, a blurb or whatever, on both the Facebooks, and then not on Instagram. I kind of do that myself, but
just a posting or whatever.
Yeah, she basically does everything online, if you order something and you live in like Australia, that's only happened a couple times, then she'll go search out what's the cheapest shipping cost, stuff like that, because she has that kind of patience. Me, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna go to Canada Post, and whatever it costs, the client is gonna have to pay. And she's a little more considerate with that because she has the patience for it.
So she's an important part of the behind the scenes work.
Yeah, she's like an equal partner when it comes to it. She just doesn't actually do the work, the artwork.
Kudos to her.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of artists that their spouses just wouldn't put up with that shit, basically.
Yeah, and those people have to. I was actually thinking about hiring like an assistant, I guess you could say, where I was going to get him or her to do basically everything. And I had an agent at one point. That didn't work out so good. That guy didn't do much for me. So I was like, you know what? I'll just do it on my own. And then my wife, she basically was like, she's picked up some of the things that I was just going to decide to drop. So, yeah, she's great.
Any other questions you got?
No, I think I'm good. I'm tapped out.
Yeah, anything you want to push or promote or any whatever yourself?
Myself, yeah. Check out my Instagram. I do a lot of art on both my Instagrams, and I try to do post every day about the stuff that I'm working on currently or past works that I'm proud of, stuff like that. And then my YouTube channel, which is just Joshua Alexander on YouTube. I have a mixture of things on there. So I have the stuff that I do on my Maker account and the stuff that I do on my artist, my Hands Gallery account, and I kind of just mash everything because I don't do YouTube too often, so I have it kind of mixed on there, and I've been trying to upload more content onto the YouTube. I don't really do too much, but subscribe.
Yeah, it's still another avenue for you.
Yeah, because I like showing people like so I'll have like an idea, right? Like that idea that you have like kind of on the computer there, the elephant, right? So I like those little wooden what do you call them? The wooden 3D puzzles.
Right.
They're usually dinosaurs or animals, right?
Yeah.
I love those. And so I had this idea. I should make a full-sized elephant. How can I do a full-sized elephant? Well, I'll have to make it abstract or something so that I don't have to be exact in detail. And I was like, I will make a wooden 3D puzzle, just large size. So that, you'll have to look in the Instagram for the people listening or on Facebook at Ushitat. But it's basically positioned on the wall the size of a full-grown female elephant. I just made the trunk slightly shorter because it would have been quite a bit longer, and it still looks proportional. So what I'm saying is basically I wanted to show people how I made that, so I decided to film it and I threw it up on the YouTube channel. So when I think I have an idea that is worth people's views, I will share. I'll try to throw it on.
Well, that's good because that's inspirational to other artists too, right? So
yeah, I try to make things that people would find cool regardless of if they're interested in art or not, I try to make everything awesome. I try not to make things that are like, oh, I know a guy who's done that, I want it to be like, holy shit, I've never seen this before.
Well, you succeed on it. That's for sure.
Thanks, man.
Again, referring to your Facebook page, I'm looking at, looks like a wire whale.
Yeah. So my favorite animal is a humpback whale, and that's loosely based off a humpback whale. It's just basically just spun wire, and then the base is a piece of driftwood.
So that's 3 to 4 feet in length. And how many feet of wire did you say that took?
It's 36,000 feet.
Wow. Yeah, people, you got to look at his Facebook page. It's Joshua Danger Alexander.
Yeah, so that's my personal Facebook.
That's his personal
You can add
page.
me as a friend, and then I also have like the two, like I have the My Hands Gallery page, and then I have the Ushitat page as well. And Ushitat is USIHTAT.
And that's on Instagram and
Facebook.
Facebook.
And I have a Twitter for the My Hands Gallery, but I barely ever use it. I just link it from my Instagram.
So if you had a chance to do one painting, one sculpture, whatever it is, to make an impact on anybody or anything, what would it be?
Well, I don't know if I ever told you this story. I used to be a magician back in the day. And back when I was, 16? And I entered this contest to enter another contest. So you basically, what is it? I had to enter to be selected to possibly perform for the Queen of England. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I follow.
And then I was selected to be one of the people to go to the next round, basically. Okay. And that was basically with a video submission. So I just submitted a video to whoever it was. I can't even remember who it was. And I don't know. I basically was like, I was selected, and then I chickened out because everyone else was so good. And I was just like, nope, can't do this.
Yeah, I'm not worthy.
So if I could paint something just to redeem myself, even though she has no idea, I'd want to paint something for the Queen.
Oh, that'd be cool. That would be. Well, there's no reason why you can't.
Yeah. I mean, she has no idea that does she even care about magic? Probably not. That's kind of a weird prize. Like, you get to perform for the Queen.
Well, you're probably not going to have too many chances to do that now.
She's getting old.
Getting up there in years, yeah. But you never know. She may have seen your video. You don't know.
No, she would. I highly doubt she would have seen the video.
All right. Well, I'm pretty much out of questions for now. I'm just looking forward to what you're coming up with next, because every time I check your page, you got something different.
Yeah, I try to post every day. So yeah,
exciting, and to me, it's an everyday travel to your Facebook page, because I need to see what you're doing next.
Awesome.
You got a really great imagination, and you take things and you definitely make them your own, and look forward to seeing your stuff every day. You and Chris both. I mean,
yeah, Chris is great too, and he has some plans too that he didn't really speak about. I think they're kind of in the works, so you got to wait for those.
Cool. Well, we'll wait till he announces that. Hopefully, it's good for him. He deserves it. You both do. And if you got nothing else you want to share with us, I think maybe we'll just wrap it up and wait till you build up your resume a little bit, and we'll have you back in again.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, man. Have a great day. Today's episode is brought to you by the Wetaskiwin Arts and Music Festival Committee, Delcon Visual Arts, and Warren's Music.